Hello. My name's Dora Ivir. I'm 35 years old and I'm from Croatia. I live in the city of Dubrovnik in the south of Croatia. I'm an accountant and I work for a company that makes office furniture. I'm married. My husband, Rudolf, works in a hospital as a radiologist. We've got 2 children, a son and a daughter. In my free time, I play tennis, I do yoga, and I go sailing with my family. I like listening to classical music too, and I like watching soap operas on TV.
My name's Alan. I work in an office, but I'm not sitting at my desk this week. I'm doing a leadership course for new managers. At the moment, we're building a bridge because we need to cross a river. We're all working hard, but I think it's great. I certainly prefer this to the office. I'm really enjoying it.
It's 9 o'clock in the evening, and Alan doesn't feel very happy now. He usually watches TV in the evening, but he isn't watching TV today. He's putting up a tent.
I don't like this. It's raining, and I feel cold, wet, and hungry. Perhaps I don't want to be a manager after all.
Hello, my name's Nicola. Can I ask you a few questions, please?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, first, what's your name?
It's Charlie Bell.
Okay, and what do you do?
I'm a student.
What are you studying?
Biology.
Oh, that's interesting. Are you using a computer at the moment?
Yes, I am.
What sort of computer are you using? A desktop or a laptop?
A laptop. I always use a laptop.
I see. And do you use it for work, study or leisure?
Study and leisure.
Okay. Now, how often do you do these things on your computer? Often, sometimes, or never? Firstly, do you send emails?
Yes, I do. Every day.
Okay, so that's often. Do you visit chat rooms?
No, I don't.
Do you shop online?
Sometimes.
Okay. Do you book tickets on the internet?
Yes. I often book tickets for rock concerts.
What about flights?
No. My girlfriend works for a travel company, so she always does that.
Okay. Do you download music, TV programs and so on?
Yes, I do that a lot. In fact, I'm downloading some music at the moment.
Oh, I see. Do you edit and print photographs?
No, I don't. I always take them to a shop. It's a lot quicker and the photos look better.
And do you play computer games?
Yes, I often do that. Especially when the lectures at university are boring.
Oh, really?
No, I'm only joking.
Right. Okay.
Thursday morning.
Hi, Lucy. How are you?
Oh, hi, Ryan. I'm okay, but I'm glad it's nearly Friday.
Are you doing anything at the weekend?
Yes, Jordan and I are visiting my parents. They moved down to the south coast a couple of months ago. They've got a lovely house by the sea.
That sounds nice.
We wanted to go last Saturday, But Jordan was on emergency call, so we're definitely doing it this weekend.
Thursday afternoon.
Jordan Morris? Look, we're filming an advert this weekend and one of the actors is ill. Are you available?
I usually get up at 6:15. I have a shower and I get dressed. I don't have breakfast, but I get a cup of coffee at the station. I normally get the 7:30 train and I get to work at 8:45. I always check my emails first. I don't get a lot of emails, fortunately. By 10:30, I start to get hungry, so I usually get a cake or something from the cafeteria. At 10 to 5, I get ready to leave work, but I get home quite late, at about 7 p.m. Then I usually get changed into my jeans. It's a long day. It's okay, but I don't like it in the winter, because it only gets light at about 8 a.m., and then it gets dark again before I leave work.
You look tired.
Yes, well, I saw an advert on Friday for a jazz concert. I really wanted to see it.
Oh, yes. When was it?
It was on Saturday afternoon. I tried to get a ticket on the internet, but there weren't any left.
Oh, dear. So what did you do?
Well, Sarah and I were at a party on Friday night. I didn't go home after that. I went straight to the theater. I queued for 6 hours.
Wow. Did you get a ticket?
Yes, I did. I got the last one.
That was lucky. Was the concert good?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I was so tired that I fell asleep and I missed it.
The 90-10 secret. Did you have a good day yesterday, or was it another day when something went wrong? If you have one bad day after another, you need to learn the 90-10 secret. A bad start.
At breakfast yesterday, Jack's daughter Emily knocked over a glass of milk, and it fell on his trousers. Jack got annoyed. He shouted at his daughter, and she started to cry. "Why did you shout at her?" said his wife. "Why did you put the glass on the edge of the table?" replied Jack angrily, as he went upstairs to get changed. Because she was upset, his daughter didn't get ready for school in time, and she missed her bus. "I have to go to work," said his wife, and she left. Jack had to take Emily to school. As he was in a hurry, he forgot his briefcase. He was 40 minutes late for work, and as soon as he got there, he had to go home again to get his briefcase. It was a bad start to the day, and it didn't get any better. Why did Jack have a bad day? Did the milk, his daughter, or his wife cause it? Let's look at another version of the story.
Did it have to be a bad start?
Again, the milk fell on Jack's trousers, but this time he didn't shout. He smiled and said, "It's okay. Accidents happen. Don't worry." He went upstairs and got changed. When he came down, Emily said, "Bye, Daddy," kissed him, and ran out to catch her bus. Jack didn't have to take her to school. He picked up his briefcase, kissed his wife, and they both left for work. He got to work early, and he had a great day.
So here's the 90-10 secret.
10% of life is what happens to you. You can't control it. The traffic's bad. You lose something. Somebody spills coffee on you. That's life. Things happen, and you have to deal with them. 90% of life, however, is how you react. Jack's bad day started because he reacted badly. Remember that. The next time that something bad happens to you.
One.
Whose mobile is this? Is it yours, Gary?
No, it isn't mine. Maybe it's Aisha's.
No, it can't be. Hers is green.
Wasn't Mick here earlier today?
Oh, yes, he was. It must be his then.
2.
Who does that big car belong to?
I think it belongs to our new neighbours.
It's very big. A lot bigger than ours.
Yes, but our flat's bigger than theirs.
I live in a first-floor flat. I live with 2 flatmates. We don't own the flat. We rent it. Our landlord lives in the flat above us. The flat's furnished, so the furniture isn't ours. It's in an old house, but it's got central heating, and it's very warm. Unfortunately, it hasn't got air conditioning, so it can get too hot in the summer. We've got a fitted kitchen with plenty of cupboards and a new oven and fridge. We've all got our own bedrooms, but we share the other rooms. We share the rent too, of course. The bedrooms are small, but the living room is quite spacious. The flat isn't very convenient for the shops, but it's in a nice location and it isn't noisy.
Saturday night. Cindy and Ryan are going to a party. The party's in a flat on the 5th floor of a block of flats. It's in an area that they don't know, so it took a long time to find it. Unfortunately, the lift is out of order, so now they're walking up the stairs. Cindy likes parties, but she isn't happy because she's wearing new shoes. She bought them in a shop near their cafe. They were the most expensive shoes in the shop, but they aren't very comfortable. They're outside the flat now, but the party isn't today. Ryan got the date wrong. It's next Saturday. Cindy isn't wearing the shoes now because she's throwing them at Ryan.
Oh, there's a good view from the living room. What floor are we on here?
The 3rd floor. Well, what do you think?
Well, it's in a quiet location.
Yes, it certainly isn't noisy.
It says it's close to local amenities, so I suppose it's convenient for the shops.
But it isn't very convenient for the station.
That's true.
What about the flat itself?
Well, it's in excellent condition.
Yes.
And it's furnished, so we won't need a lot of things.
There's a fitted kitchen too.
Yes, but the room's very dark.
Yes, I suppose so. What do you think of the other rooms?
Oh, they're nice and spacious.
But it hasn't got central heating, so it will be expensive to heat.
That's true. but it isn't cold at the moment.
Anyway, what do you think?
I'm not sure. The flat's okay, but I don't like that kitchen. It's too dark. And this is an expensive area, so rents are high.
Yes. I'm sure we can find somewhere better for the money.
I agree. So we'll say no then.
Yes. Okay. I'll call the accommodation agency and see if they've got anything else.
Hi, Sarah.
Bless you. Have you got a cold?
Yes, I have. It started at the weekend.
Oh dear. But did you have a good time with Lucy's parents?
No, I didn't go.
That's a shame. Were you working?
No, I wasn't. I got a part in a TV advert at very short notice.
Oh, was Lucy annoyed?
You bet. She hit the roof when I told her.
I can imagine. She was really looking forward to it. What was the advert for?
It was for doggo dog food. I was a jogger in a park.
How did it go?
Oh, really badly. It rained all day on Saturday, so we couldn't do anything.
What a pity. But it didn't rain on Sunday. Peter and I went to look at a house.
No, but there was a cold wind, and I only had shorts and a t-shirt on. Oh, I was freezing.
Poor you. Is that how you got your cold?
Probably. And after all that, it was a complete waste of time.
Really? Why?
The advert was too long, so they cut the scene with the jogger in the park.
Lucy and Jordan are going out this evening.
Hi, Jordan. Peter's booked the restaurant for tonight.
Great, but I'm going to be a bit late. I've had an accident in my van. I've hurt my hand a bit, but I'm okay.
Oh dear. What happened?
I reversed into a car. It was my fault. I didn't look.
Oh dear. Well, we've all done something like that. I did the same thing last year. I felt very silly.
Well, I feel annoyed. I've never had an accident before.
Never mind. Anyway, have you called the police?
No, I haven't. But I don't really need to do that. It was a police car that I reversed into.
Spider-Man.
Alain Robert likes skyscrapers. But he doesn't just like looking at them, as most people do. He prefers climbing them. Last Friday, he was in Abu Dhabi, where he climbed up the Investment Authority building. It took him just 63 minutes to climb the 35 stories. He was watched by thousands of people in the car park below. The French Spider-Man, as he is called, has climbed some of the world's highest buildings, including the Empire State Building in New York and the Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur. He surprised some workers at the Canary Wharf skyscraper in London when he knocked on the window and asked for a drink. Alain has often been in trouble with the police, as he's usually breaking the law when he climbs things. He's been in prison in several countries. When he reached the top of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, the police were waiting for him and arrested him. He started climbing after he saw a film about mountaineering when he was a young boy. When he was 12, he came home from school one day and found that he was locked out. So he climbed up the outside of the apartment block and climbed in through a window on the 7th floor. Later, when he got bored with climbing mountains, he looked for something more dangerous. He doesn't use any ropes or safety nets, and he doesn't wear a helmet. He just uses his own hands and feet. He's had a few accidents, and he's broken several bones, including his skull. So why does the married father of 3 do it? I'm not really interested in the fame, but I like the danger, he says. I'm a gambler, and I gamble with my life. So far, I've been lucky, but I know that one day I'll lose.
A 100. 700. 1,000. 3 million. 6 billion. 1,250. 809. 33%. 26.5. A quarter. Half. A half. 2/3.
325.
5 million.
28,000.
95%.
21.7.
4,932.
$3 million.
40 billion euros.
8.2%.
3/4.
7,036.
A half.
In 1900, there were very few cars. In that year, the USA produced only 4,192 cars. However, in 1908, the first mass-produced car appeared, the Ford Model T. Between 1908 and 1927, 16,536,075 Model Ts were made. Today, there are over 600 million cars in the world, and 35 million new cars are produced every year. Of all the cars in the world, a quarter are in the USA, although the USA has only 5% of the world's population. We all love our cars, and the world's car companies spend more than $19 billion a year on advertising. However, cars come at a high cost. They produce 4 billion tons of carbon dioxide every year. That's 1/5 of all the CO2 that is produced. By 2030, this will be over 7.5 billion tons. The United Nations says that 1.2 million people a year die on the world's roads. That's 25% of all the deaths from accidents.
Hi, Lucy. We're going to meet in the pub for lunch today. Do you want to join us?
No, sorry. Look at all this work. I'm going to be very busy today, so I'll probably get a sandwich and eat it at my desk.
I watched a TV program last night. It said that in the future, robots will do most of the work in offices.
Really? That'll be good.
Yes, but it said that office life will be very different, because the robots won't have normal human emotions.
Lucy, I need 3 copies of the finance report by 11 o'clock.
OK, Olive. I'll photocopy it now. Robots won't make any difference in this office, Daniel. I've already got one as a boss.
Come on, Bessie. That's it. Good dog.
Hello, Ryan. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Cindy says you've finally decided on your wedding plans.
Yes, we have. We're going to get married here in London in September.
Are all your family and friends going to come over from Singapore and the States?
No. Our parents will be there, but that's all. It's too expensive for everyone to come.
But at least our parents will get to know each other.
And anyway, after the wedding, we're going to fly to Singapore for a celebration with Sarah's family and friends.
Then we're going to have another celebration with Peter's family in the States.
Wow! How long will that take?
3 weeks.
A round-the-world trip and 3 weddings. You'll be exhausted.
Oh, we'll probably take some time out for a holiday too, so it won't be too bad.
Well, I hope you'll be as happy together as we are.
That's nice. Thank you, Ryan.
We really enjoy each other's company. She's my best friend.
Yes, you and Cindy have got a great relationship.
I didn't mean me and Cindy. I meant me and my dog Bessie here.
A strange coincidence, but true.
One morning, Mrs. Willard Lovell was outside her house in Berkeley, California. She wasn't happy because she'd locked herself out by accident. She'd left her keys inside the house, and now she couldn't get in. She walked round the house. Had she left a window open, perhaps? No, she hadn't. Then the postman arrived with a letter. Her brother, Watson, had posted it the previous day. Inside the envelope, there was a key to her front door. Watson had stayed with Mrs. Lovell the week before. She'd given him a key, and he hadn't given it back. So he'd posted it to her.
The last train.
My name's Christoph. Last Tuesday I worked very late because some important visitors had arrived. When I finally left the office, I hurried to the station and caught the last train home at 11:45. It was warm on the train, so I took off my jacket. I tried to stay awake, but it had been a long day, and I soon fell asleep. When I woke up, we were in a station. I knew that my station was the first stop, So I grabbed my briefcase and ran to the door. I got off just in time, and the train moved away. That was lucky, I thought. But then I looked around, and I couldn't believe my eyes, because it wasn't my station. The fast train didn't normally stop there, so why had it stopped there that night? And it was the last train. I decided to phone my wife, Selina. Then I realised I hadn't picked up my jacket. My wallet, keys, and mobile phone were all still on the train. I walked out of the station. There were some people in the car park and an ambulance. I spoke to the driver. Apparently, one of the other passengers had become very ill, so the train had stopped there because there was a hospital nearby. The ambulance driver lent me his phone, and I phoned Selina. She had already gone to bed. "Where are you?" she asked. "I'm at Burton Station," I said. "Just a minute," she said. "Whose phone are you using? This isn't your number." "It's the ambulance driver's," I said, and I started to explain. But then I realised that she had put the phone down. She thought that I'd had an accident, and she was already on her way. An hour later, she arrived. She was happy to see that I hadn't had an accident. However, she wasn't pleased when I explained things, because she had driven very fast to get there, and the police had stopped her for speeding, and they had given her a big fine. We drove home together in silence.
I'd like to book a flight to Cyprus, please.
When do you want to travel?
On the 30th of November. Coming back on the 5th of December.
Okay, let's have a look. Right, well, there's only one direct flight on Tuesdays. It leaves at 7:30 and arrives at 14:20.
Oh, that's very early. Are there any later flights?
No, there aren't many flights in winter, I'm afraid. There's a flight at 13:45 via Amsterdam, arriving at 23:40.
That's a bit late at night to arrive. Let's try the flight at 7:30.
Okay, how many people is it for?
2.
And do you want business class or economy class?
Economy, please.
Okay. Yes, there are seats available on that flight in economy, but I'm afraid the return flight in December is fully booked.
Oh, I see. Can you check the other flight, please?
Okay, just a minute.
Sarah is talking to her friends at the university.
Shall we all go for a meal at the Pizza Experience this evening?
We went to the Pizza Experience last time, didn't we?
And the time before that. Why don't we go to the steakhouse?
But Birgit doesn't eat meat, does she?
No, she doesn't. Well, what about the kingfisher? She eats fish, doesn't she?
Yes, she does, but Arthur doesn't.
I know. Let's go to that vegetarian restaurant. Carrots.
Oh, yes. We've had lunch there a couple of times, haven't we?
But it isn't open on Tuesdays, is it?
Later.
It's a nice pizza, isn't it?
Hi, sorry to disturb you, but there's nobody at the reception desk. I'm here about...
Ah, come in. I'm Felton Windrush. What's your name?
It's Jordan Morris.
You look familiar. We haven't met before, have we?
No, I don't think so.
But I know your face. Oh, yes. You were in that advert for Doggo Dog Food, weren't you? We edited it, you know.
Oh, I see. Yes, I was the jogger in the park, but they cut my bit from the final version.
Yes, I thought I recognised you. I never forget a face. Anyway, here you are. Read this.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Come along. You're an actor, aren't you? Read the part of Red Mason.
OK. Who's that woman over there, Mrs. Rowland? I'm sure I've seen her before. Oh, no. It isn't. It can't be.
Later.
Thank you. You read that very well. And you're Australian, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm from Sydney.
That's ideal. Anyway, my secretary Violet will be in touch in the next few days.
In touch about what?
About the part in our new soap opera, Cavendish Park. I'm the producer.
Oh, right. I didn't know anything about that.
But you came here today for an audition, didn't you?
No. Actually, I'm here to fix the computer.
Global warming. Scientists tell us that the world is getting warmer. How do these people feel about it?
I won't mind if the world gets warmer. I live in a cold country. If we get better weather, people here will be very happy. However, if I lived in a hot country, I would be very worried.
We live on an island. If global warming continues, the sea level will rise and this island will disappear. We wouldn't be on the island now if we had more money. My husband and I would move to somewhere safer.
If you heard that a tornado was approaching, what would you do? Tornadoes can be very dangerous. In 1989, a tornado in Bangladesh killed over 1,300 people. If you were outside, you wouldn't survive. And even if you were indoors, you wouldn't be completely safe. Tornado winds can be over 400 kilometers an hour and can destroy a building in seconds. The safest place would be in the cellar at the bottom of the house. One thing that most people wouldn't do is get in their car and drive towards the tornado. But Enrique Gomez would. He's a storm chaser. Tornadoes usually happen together with thunderstorms, so Enrique studies weather forecasts and looks for possible storms. If he finds one, he'll try to get as close as possible to it. He works in Texas and the Midwestern states of the USA, like Kansas and Missouri. This area is called Tornado Alley because there are over 1,200 tornadoes there every year. They usually happen in spring, when cold, dry air from Canada in the north meets warm, wet air from the Gulf of Mexico in the south. Why does Enrique do it? He's a meteorologist. He wants to learn more about tornadoes and why they happen. It's very important now, he says, because of global warming. If temperatures rise, the sea will get warmer and we'll see violent weather such as hurricanes and tornadoes more often. This will cause big problems in many areas. For example, agriculture, buildings, and transport. It's dangerous work. Apart from the high winds, there's usually lightning and heavy rain, which causes floods. However, those aren't the biggest dangers. When Enrique finds his storm, there will be other storm chasers there too. But most of them aren't scientists. Some are photographers, some work for TV stations, and some are tornado tourists who just want to see a real tornado. All these people are chasing the storm in their cars, and they're all watching the sky, says Enrique. So, what's the biggest danger? Car accidents!
$32.1.
Good evening. I've got a reservation in the name of Els.
Yes, here we are. A single room for 2 nights.
Yes, that's correct. And I'd like a non-smoking room, please.
All our rooms are non-smoking, sir. Could you fill in your details on the form, please? And sign it at the bottom?
Okay.
And could I take a credit card, please?
Yes, of course. Here you are.
Thank you. Would you like a newspaper or a wake-up call?
Yes, I'd like the Independent, please. But I won't need a wake-up call. What time is breakfast?
Breakfast is served from 7 to 10:30 in the restaurant.
Thank you.
So, here's your key, Mr. Els. You're in room 58. That's on the 5th floor. Do you need any help with your luggage?
No, thank you.
Okay. The lifts are over there. Enjoy your stay.
Thank you.
Is that you with the microphone, Ryan?
Yes, it is.
Did you used to be a singer?
No, I didn't. That's at one of our karaoke nights. We used to have them every Friday.
What? Here at the coffee shop? When was that?
Oh, about 10 years ago, I suppose.
Oh, I didn't used to come here in those days. Why don't you have them now?
When Cindy started singing, everybody used to leave.
Who's that young woman talking to Ryan?
That's Melanie, Ryan and Cindy's daughter. Don't you remember her?
Oh, I didn't recognize her. She's changed a lot. Is she still at Manchester University?
No, she's finished now.
I can remember when she was still at school. She used to work in the cafe at weekends.
Doesn't time fly?
Did you used to come here in those days too, Peter?
No, I didn't used to work around here. That seems a long time ago now.
Your computer's working okay now, Ryan. See you again.
Thanks, Raj. Bye.
He's nice, isn't he? But what's happened to that Australian guy who used to fix your computers, Dad?
Do you mean Jordan?
Yes. I used to enjoy talking to him. Doesn't he come here anymore?
Yes, we see him now and again, but he doesn't repair computers now.
Oh. What's he up to these days then?
He's an actor. He's just got a part in a new soap opera, apparently.
Cool.
Our Jordan's going to be a TV star.
In July last year, 3 people robbed the Gold Mine jewellery shop. 2 men and a woman stole watches and jewellery worth over £80,000. There was a lot of publicity about the crime because the robbers violently assaulted the shop's owner, Mr. Hall. Fortunately, several witnesses saw the robbery. The police soon arrested the 3 people. They went to prison for robbery and assault. The victim, Mr. Hall, said, "Those people have committed so many crimes. They are very dangerous criminals. I thought they were going to murder me."
When Maggie Stone went out yesterday, a thief was watching her house. After she had driven away, he burgled the house. While he was stealing things, he suddenly smelt smoke. Maggie had left the cooker on and a saucepan was burning. The burglar turned off the cooker and threw a wet towel over the saucepan. When Maggie came home, the burglar was running away. When she went indoors, she found that he had stolen her laptop and some jewellery. But he had also put out the fire in her kitchen. "I didn't know whether to feel angry or grateful," she said.
Was it murder?
Magnus Randolph was a rich man. At 2:30 yesterday afternoon, he went to his study for a nap. 20 minutes later, he was dead. My name's Jack Lonsdale, and I'm a detective. When I arrived at the scene, Randolph was sitting in an armchair. There was a gun on the floor next to his right hand. It was his own gun, and his fingerprints were on it. Had he committed suicide? It looked like it, but I decided to ask a few questions. There were 3 people at the house yesterday. Randolph's assistant, Belinda Wells, his niece, Caroline Turner, and her husband, Aston. The victim died at exactly 2:51. Belinda and Aston had been for a walk and were just coming back to the house when they heard a gun. The gardener saw them. When they heard the shot, they ran into the house. They went to the study. Caroline was already there. She hadn't gone for a walk. She had gone to her room to write some emails. Her laptop was still in her room. It showed that she had sent an email at 2:51. It was a very big house, and there wasn't time to work on her laptop in her room, then go down to the study and shoot her uncle. Everyone had an alibi. However, everyone also had a motive to murder Magnus Randolph. Nobody liked him. Belinda Wells wanted to get a new job, but she couldn't, because Randolph was blackmailing her. She had stolen some money a few years before, and Randolph had found out. Aston and Caroline Turner owned a small farm, but it was losing money. Caroline had asked her uncle for help, but he had said no. Now that Randolph was dead, Caroline and Aston would get all his money, and Belinda could leave. So, Was one of them a murderer?
Good morning, Granter Taxis. How may I help?
Hello, my name's Mrs. Johnson. I booked a taxi for 8:45 this morning, but it's 9:15 now, and it hasn't arrived yet.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. What address is it?
It's 68 Tower Street.
Just one moment, Mrs. Johnson. I'm sorry, but we've got no record of your booking. When did you make it?
3 weeks ago.
I see. But there's nothing in the computer about it.
Well, this is very inconvenient. Can you send a taxi immediately then, please?
Let me see. I can get one to you for 10 o'clock.
That's no good. I need a taxi now.
I'm very sorry, but we haven't got one available at the moment.
This is completely unacceptable. I've got a plane to catch.
I can only apologise, Mrs. Johnson, but I'm afraid there's nothing I can do.
Well, I shall write and make a formal complaint, and I certainly won't be using your company again. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mrs. Johnson.
In 1992, a cargo ship was hit by a storm in the Pacific Ocean. 12 of its containers were thrown into the sea by the waves. Inside one of the containers, there were 29,000 plastic bath toys, yellow ducks, green frogs, and blue turtles. Since then, the toys have been carried around the world by ocean currents. They have been found in Australia, South America, and even in Europe. The toys have been studied by scientists, and we've learnt a lot about ocean currents. However, it is not all good news. Eventually, the toys will break up and the plastic will be eaten by fish and birds. Many of these animals will die as a result. Every year, 2,000 to 10,000 containers are lost at sea. Consequently, the sea is polluted by chemicals. If we are not careful, life in the sea will be destroyed. Then, plastic ducks, frogs, and turtles will be the only animals left in the water.
Hello, Lucy. You look down in the dumps.
Oh, hi, Ryan. Yes, I feel really fed up at the moment.
Things can't be that bad. What's the problem?
Well, it's just that everyone's life is changing, except mine.
It seems that Jordan's very busy with his new acting job.
Yes, apparently it's all going well. But it isn't just him. Peter and Sarah are busy with their wedding plans, too.
Yes. Cindy tells me that the restaurant's been booked and the invitations will be sent out soon.
And I hear that Melanie's been accepted by a university in the States.
Yes. She's very happy about it.
And my friend Daniel at work was transferred last week.
Oh, yes. I understand he's gone to your Paris office.
Yes. But I'm still in the same old job with the same old boss.
Oh dear. You are feeling sorry for yourself, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Everyone else is moving on and I've been left behind.
Cheer up. I'm sure there's something interesting round the corner for you too.
The next day.
Lucy, the managing director wants to see you in his office this afternoon.
What's your friend like?
She always does the right thing.
She's a sensible person.
He always finishes his work on time.
He's very reliable.
She doesn't mind waiting for things.
She's very patient.
He's won a lot of prizes, but he doesn't talk about them much.
He's very modest.
She found some money and she took it to the police station.
She's an honest person.
Everything on his desk is always in the right place.
He's very tidy.
She always looks happy.
She's a cheerful person.
He always asks for things nicely.
He's very polite.
She's always ready to help if you've got a problem.
She's very kind.
He loves meeting people.
He's a sociable person.
She doesn't worry about things.
She's very easygoing.
He wants to be the director.
He's an ambitious person.
She's good at understanding people's feelings.
She's very sensitive.
He always defends his friends.
He's very loyal. Cindy and Ryan have joined a walking group. They're going on their first walk today.
Why are we taking that umbrella?
It might rain later.
It won't rain. It's a beautiful day.
It might not be fine all day. And we should take jumpers and coats too. It might be cold in the evening.
You shouldn't be so pessimistic.
Later.
Stop complaining, Ryan. The weather might change later.
Lucy likes to give presents to all her friends at Christmas. Last year, she gave Cindy and Ryan a glass vase. They didn't really like it, however, so Cindy gave it to her mother for her birthday. Cindy's mother has only got a small flat, and she didn't have room for it. Jordan helped her with her computer, so she gave the vase to him to say thank you. It's Valentine's Day, and Jordan is taking Lucy out to dinner. However, he's forgotten to buy her a present, so he's going to give her the glass vase. He's sure she'll be pleased.
What do you think the managing director wants?
I've got no idea, Marco. Olive didn't tell me.
Perhaps his PA is quitting and he's going to offer the job to you.
No, they always advertise for posts. It's more likely that he's going to give me the sack.
They can't fire you, Lucy. They wouldn't find anyone else to work with Olive.
I hope you're right. Anyway, whatever he wants, I'll find out at 2:30 this afternoon.
Later.
Employee of the Month. Congratulations! Were you surprised?
I was absolutely amazed.
Well, maybe Olive has got a heart after all.
Possibly. Anyway, there's a small ceremony at work tomorrow.
when the MD will present the certificate and the prize to me.
What's the prize?
It's a trip for 2 to Paris.
Wonderful! I suppose Jordan's going with you.
Of course. He was delighted when I told him. It's all booked for Saturday, the 6th of September.
Oh, that's the weekend before our wedding.
Yes. Oh, I feel so much happier now.
My name's Jason. I'm an undergraduate student at Newcastle University. I'm studying for a degree in law. It's a 3-year course, and I'm in my 2nd year at the moment. In my 1st year, I had a room on campus, but I live off campus now. I share a house with 5 other students. On most days, I attend 1 or 2 lectures. I take notes, and then at the end of the lecture, the lecturer usually gives us a reading list and an assignment. A week later, we have a seminar in a small group. One of the students has to read his or her assignment, and we talk about it. At the end of our 3rd year, we'll take our final examinations, and if I pass them, I'll graduate. I'll get my degree certificate at a graduation ceremony.
Hello, Lucy. Have you been waiting long?
No, I haven't. Where's Peter?
He'll be here in a minute. Oh, here he is now.
What's he been doing?
He's been looking for somewhere to park. It's very busy tonight.
Hi, Lucy. Sorry we're late.
It's okay. I haven't been waiting long. Anyway, I've been reading this book. It's called Improve Your Memory. It's really good.
Oh, right. Well, come on. The show starts in 10 minutes. Have you got the tickets?
The tickets? Oh no, I've forgotten them. I've left them at home.
It sounds as if you need that book, Lucy. My name's Bella, and I work for a film company. I'm an assistant to a director. I do photocopying and make appointments, and I make a lot of cups of coffee too. I don't make a lot of money, but I'm doing a job that I really enjoy. I've made some good friends too. It isn't all fun. At the moment, we're making a film about a hospital, and we have to do a lot of the work at night. I really want to be a film director, so in my free time, I'm doing a course in film directing. It's quite hard. I had to do a big assignment last week. I'm not doing anything today. I'm going to do a bit of housework this morning, and then I'll probably do some exercise later. But first, I'm going to make a few phone calls.
Monday morning.
The coffee machine isn't working. We can't make any coffee, and we have to open in 2 hours. I must phone the engineer.
You don't have to do that. I'll take a look at it.
You mustn't touch it, Ryan. It's dangerous. You won't be able to fix it, and we must have a coffee machine. Remember the last time it broke down? We couldn't make any hot drinks, and we had to close the cafe.
Don't worry. I can fix anything.
Later.
I'm sorry, but you'll have to buy a new machine. We haven't got any in stock, I'm afraid, so we'll have to get one from Italy. We'll be able to get it in 3 days.
Felton Windrush is talking to the actors and actresses in his new soap opera.
I'm sure you've all heard that there's been a fire at Wormwood Studio.
Does that mean that we won't be able to use it?
Yes, unfortunately, Amber. We'll have to use KP Studio instead.
Is that available, Felton?
Yes, it is, but only for 6 weeks.
Are you saying that we'll have to do 2 months filming in 6 weeks?
Yes, I'm afraid so. We'll have to work every weekend from now on.
At Jordan's flat.
I got the tickets for Paris today.
Oh, what date is that again?
It's the 6th of September, the weekend before the wedding. Why? What's that?
It's our new schedule for filming, and...
Don't tell me you'll have to work that weekend.
Yes, it looks like it. And the weekend of the wedding, too.
What? And does Peter know that his best man won't be able to be there?
No, not yet. Look, I'm really sorry, but...
Oh, don't worry, Jordan. I'll just have to find someone else to share the most exciting weekend of my life. And share the rest of my life, too. That's it. We're finished.
I enjoy driving, but I've given up going to work by car. The traffic's terrible, and I can't stand sitting in traffic jams. I don't mind going by train, because I can read. In fact, I've just finished reading War and Peace. But the trains are usually crowded. I try to avoid travelling in the rush hour, but sometimes I don't fancy getting up that early. I can't imagine doing it for years. So I've decided to look for a new flat. I really want to find a place near my office. Then I won't need to use any transport. I hope to have a look at some flats this week. My sister has offered to help me. I don't expect to find one straight away, but when I manage to find somewhere, I plan to sell my car. I promised to sell it to my sister. I think that's why she's helping me.
Jonas Paulson, 47, loves paragliding. But when he went paragliding last week, he didn't expect to be gone for 3 days. He jumped off a mountain in Norrbotten in Sweden. However, he landed in a forest, and he spent the next 3 days 30 metres up a tree. There were people looking for me, he said, but the weather was very bad. After 3 days, I saw a helicopter flying over the forest. Then I heard a dog barking. When I looked down, there was a man looking up at me. When I reached the tree, said Lars Odell, I saw him hanging upside down like a bat. It was Jonas's 3rd paragliding accident. His wife, Layla, said, "From now on, he's going to take up a quiet hobby, like stamp collecting."
The Old Dog.
One day, in Africa, an old dog wandered into the forest. It was a nice day, and the old dog was looking at the flowers and the butterflies. Soon he was a long way from home. When he stopped to have a rest, he saw something moving. there was a young leopard coming towards him. "Oh dear," he thought, "I'm in trouble now." He looked around and saw some bones on the ground. The old dog sat down and started to chew them. When he heard the leopard approaching, he stopped chewing the bones, stood up and said, That leopard was delicious, but it was very small. I could eat another one." When he heard this, the leopard stopped and walked quietly away. There was a young monkey sitting in a tree. He saw all this happening. "That old dog has just tricked the leopard," he thought. "If I go and tell the leopard, maybe he'll be my friend and he'll stop trying to eat me." The old dog saw the monkey following the leopard, and he thought, "What am I going to do now? I'm sure that monkey's going to tell the leopard that I tricked him. He'll be angry when he hears it, but I'm too old to run away." Soon, as he expected, the old dog saw the leopard running towards him with the monkey on his back. The old dog sat down and waited for them. When they were close enough to hear, he stood up and said loudly, "Where's that monkey? I'm hungry, and I sent him to bring me another leopard half an hour ago." When the dog looked round, he saw the monkey jumping off the leopard's back. He watched the leopard chasing the monkey up into a tree. "I think that leopard's forgotten about me," he said to himself, and he started walking slowly back home. The moral of the story is, a wise old head can always beat a strong young body.
Do you fancy going for a meal later?
No, I don't really feel like going out this evening. I'm tired.
Okay. How about tomorrow?
Tomorrow's no good for me, I'm afraid. Are you free on Wednesday?
No, I'm sorry. I can't make Wednesday or Thursday. I'm away. Friday?
Yes. Friday's free at the moment. Where shall we go?
How about trying that new Lebanese restaurant near the square?
Yes, that sounds good.
Okay, great. I'll book a table and text you. They're the couple who moved into the flat below me a few months ago.
Oh, are they the people who have the parties?
Yes, that's right. The party they had last month kept me awake all night.
You should complain about all the noise they make.
I did, and we reached an agreement that keeps everyone happy.
That's good. So, did they agree to keep the noise down?
No, they agreed to invite me to all the parties which they have.
One day, a professor gave his philosophy class an unusual lesson. Without saying anything, he put a glass jar on the desk. Then he took some golf balls and put them in the jar. When he couldn't put any more balls in the jar, he asked, "Is the jar full?" The students all said, "Yes." The professor didn't say anything, but he took a small bag of stones from under the desk. He put the stones into the jar. The stones fell down between the golf balls. When he couldn't put in any more stones, he said, "Is the jar full now?" The students all said, Yes. The professor then took another bag from under the desk. There was some sand in the bag. He carefully poured the sand into the jar. The sand filled all the spaces in the jar. When the sand came to the top, he asked the question again. The students all said that the jar was full. The professor didn't say anything, but he took 2 cups of coffee from under the desk. He poured the coffee into the jar. The coffee came up to the top of the jar. The students laughed. This time they all agreed that the jar was full. You couldn't put anything more into it. The students all wondered, what is the professor trying to show us?
It looks beautiful, Lucy, but it's too long, and it's too big here on the shoulders.
Yes, you can't have a bridesmaid who looks terrible.
There's a shop that alters clothes near my place. I'll take it tomorrow, if I have time.
There's no need. I can alter it myself.
Really?
Yes. I quite enjoy sewing. I always put on my headphones and listen to some music while I'm doing it. It's very relaxing.
Oh, thanks, Lucy. That would be great. There are so many things I need to do at the moment.
So, how's the acting going?
Fine. I'm playing an Australian guy who works as a computer engineer.
Well, you shouldn't find that too difficult.
No. But look, there's something I wanted to talk to you about.
Excuse me, Jordan. That's my secretary. Hi. No, I'm already doing something that evening. I know. But they'll have to do without me, I'm afraid. Okay. Bye.
Problems?
Yes. There are some visitors who need entertaining. But I'm going to the airport to meet Sarah's parents.
Couldn't she go on her own?
Yes. But I promised to go with her, and I don't want to let her down. It's all about priorities.
Yes, I see.
Anyway, what was this thing you wanted to talk to me about?
Oh, it's nothing important. It can wait.
I've been doing the same job for 7 years. It's a good job, but I'm getting bored with it. Actually, my boss is leaving soon, so I could apply for her job, but I'm tired of going to the same office every day, and I'm not afraid of a new challenge. Anyway, I was off work a few weeks ago because I was suffering from flu, and I had a lot of time to think about it. When I was better, I started to look at job adverts in the newspapers, but all the jobs were similar to the one I've got now. I talked to my wife, and she said, "What do you really want to do?" I said, "Well, I'd really like to be a sculptor. I've always been interested in art, and I'm good at painting. Last year, I took part in a summer school on sculpture, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that my wife would be worried about money. We've got 2 young children, and we've just moved house. But she agreed with me. If you wait for the perfect time, you'll never do it, she said. So last week, I decided to leave my job. This time next year, life will certainly be very different from now.
Saved by a spider. Theo Minsk remembers the day that a spider saved his life.
If it hadn't rained, I would have gone to the beach. However, it rained all day, so I tidied my garage instead. While I was doing it, a spider bit my neck. My wife was worried about me, because some spiders in Australia are very poisonous. So, we went to the hospital. When the doctors examined me, they noticed a lump on my neck. But it wasn't the spider's bite. Tests showed that I was suffering from cancer.
Today, after several months of treatment, the cancer has gone.
Life can be strange,
says Theo.
My wife wouldn't have taken me to the hospital if the spider hadn't bitten me. Then we probably wouldn't have found the lump in time. If I had left it for a few more months, it would have been too late. That spider saved my life.
Erica, 34, computer programmer.
I was tired of working for somebody else. I wanted to have my own business. 8 years ago, I decided to start my own computer software company. I needed a lot of money for it, so I sold my flat, and I borrowed money from my friends too. Unfortunately, the business wasn't successful, and after 5 years, I was bankrupt. I lost everything, including my friends' money. Do I regret it? Yes and no. I wish I hadn't borrowed money from my friends, but if I hadn't done it, I would have regretted it all my life. Things don't always work out, but if you don't try, you'll never know.
Leroy, 42, production manager with an engineering company.
I've got a good job now, but I did it the hard way. I left school when I was 17. I was bored with school and I wanted to earn some money. I had a lot of jobs, but they were all boring and low paid. I needed qualifications to get a good job, so I went to evening classes and then I applied for a place at university. It was difficult. When I wasn't studying, I was working. I wish I had worked harder at school now. If I hadn't been so lazy then, things would have been easier. But I don't really regret it. I really enjoy my job, and I think that I'm a better person because I had to fight for it.
Marianne, 37, housewife and part-time librarian.
I got married to a guy I met at university. I was 21 and we were in love. We had our first child a year later and we've got 3 children now. Sometimes I wish that I'd done more and seen more of life before I got married. I feel jealous when friends talk about the things they did in their 20s. While they were travelling and going to parties, I was looking after babies. But I don't regret it. If I hadn't got married then, I wouldn't have had my 3 lovely children. I love my family, so I wouldn't change anything, really.
When you arrive at the airport, make sure you go to the correct terminal. A lot of airports have more than one. First, you check in at the check-in desk. When you've got your boarding card, you go through passport control for international flights. Then you have to go through security, where they check your bags and coats. After that, you wait in the departure lounge. When your flight is called, you go to the departure gate and board the plane. On the plane, you find your seat, put your hand luggage in an overhead locker, then sit down and fasten your seatbelt. When all the passengers are on the plane and everything is ready, the plane takes off. During the flight attendants serve drinks and meals. The pilot usually gives some information about the flight and the weather too. Before the plane lands, the cabin crew check all the passengers' seatbelts again.
Peter has been away on a business trip.
Do you know if Peter's plane has landed yet?
Yes, it has. He texted me about half an hour ago.
Well, would you like to go for a meal together this evening?
Good idea. I wonder what time Peter will be back. I'll phone and see where he is.
Hi, Sarah. Yes, I'm in the car park at the moment.
Great. Lucy wants to know whether we'd like to go for a meal this evening.
Yes, sure. But I don't know what time I'll be back.
Why? What's the problem?
I can't remember where I parked my car.
Hi, Felton. Can I have a word?
Sure. What's on your mind?
I wonder whether we can change the schedule for these 2 weekends.
Change the schedule? I hope you realise that won't be very easy.
Yes, and I'm very sorry, but I have other commitments which are really important to me.
Okay. Well, tell me what the problem is, and I'll see what I can do.
Later.
Thanks, Felton. I really appreciate it.
It's okay. I understand the situation. But I wish you'd told me sooner.
That's fair enough. I'll know next time. Thanks again.
Later.
Hi, Sarah. Have you got any idea where Lucy is?
She was here earlier, but I don't know where she's gone now.
Do you know whether she's asked anyone else to go to Paris with her?
I don't think so. She was very upset about it, Jordan.
Yes, I know. But I've sorted it all out now, so I need to talk to her.
She's probably gone home.
Maybe, but she isn't answering her phone or her mobile. I'll go round and see if she's there. I'm outside Lucy's house, and I think she's had an accident.
My name's Nina and I work in an office. I get my salary monthly. It's paid into my bank account directly by my employer. I spend most of my salary on essentials like rent, food, clothes and transport. There isn't a lot left after that for luxuries, and I try to save something every month. I keep my savings in a different account where I earn interest on my money. I'm saving up for a car at the moment. It's taking a long time, so I might apply for a loan, but the interest rate is quite high and I can't afford it at the moment. I don't go to the bank very often. I pay bills by direct debit, so the bank pays them automatically. I use my card to withdraw money at a cash machine. I usually check my account balance and transfer money from one account to the other online. When I buy things or eat in restaurants, I normally pay by credit card.
Friday afternoon.
Ryan, we need some olive oil.
Okay. I'm going out, so I'll get some.
2 hours later.
Well, where is it?
Oh, I haven't bought the oil. I saw an old friend and I completely forgot about it.
Later that day.
Have you and Ryan had an argument?
Yes, we have. This afternoon, I said that we needed some olive oil. Ryan said that he was going out, so he would get some. Well, when he came back 2 hours later, he said he hadn't bought the oil.
Why not?
He said he had seen an old friend and he had completely forgotten about it. He was smiling too.
Well, they probably had a lot to talk about.
I'm sure they did, because it wasn't just any old friend. It was an old girlfriend.
Oh, I see.
Who's using your identity?
One afternoon last year, Fred Payne had a phone call. He tells us what happened.
It was a young woman. She said her name was Angela, I think, and that she was from my bank. She told me that they'd had a problem with their computers, so they were checking all their customers' accounts. She was so friendly and polite, and she already knew my full name and address, the name of my bank, and even my account number. She said that she just needed to check my date of birth, my mother's maiden name, and my PIN. She asked for my internet password too, but I told her that I didn't use the internet. Well, I gave her the information, and she said that I'd been very helpful.
2 weeks later, however, Fred went to his bank.
I told the cashier that I wanted to transfer some money, but she said that there wasn't enough money in my account. She said that almost everything, £2,000, had been withdrawn 10 days before. Then, of course, I remembered the phone call. The cashier said that the bank never phoned or emailed people for information like that. I couldn't believe that I had been so stupid.
Fred had been the victim of identity theft, a crime that costs billions of dollars worldwide every year. Martin Smart is an expert on this modern crime.
People should be very careful with any information about themselves. Criminals can use it to withdraw money from accounts, buy things on the internet, and even open new accounts in someone else's name. Sometimes they steal documents, like passports and driving licenses. But we also make things very easy for them. For example, Fred told me that he didn't destroy old bank statements, credit card receipts, gas, telephone and electricity bills, etc., but just threw them in the rubbish bin. That's probably how the thieves got his name, address and account number. People also dump old computers with all their personal and financial information still on them because they don't delete the data first. Your identity is very important. Protect it.
Cashier number 3, please.
Good morning. What can I do for you today?
Hello. Could I pay this cheque into my account, please?
Certainly. Have you got the card for your account?
Yes. Here you are.
Thank you. OK, that's paid in now. Here's your receipt. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yes. I'd like to open a savings account, please.
You'll need to speak to one of our customer service advisors about that.
Oh, I see.
If you take a seat over there, somebody will be with you shortly.
Thank you.
Jordan, what's happened?
I think Lucy's had an accident.
How do you know?
Well, I knocked at the door, but there was no reply. So I looked through the letterbox and I saw her lying on the floor. Look!
Oh, yes. That's her bridesmaid's dress. She was probably trying it on.
Do you think she's fallen downstairs?
Maybe. The dress was a bit too long. Perhaps she tripped on it. Oh, I hope she's all right.
Her mobile's on the floor there too. That must be why she isn't answering it.
And she's closed the curtains, so we can't see anything through the window.
Have you phoned the emergency services?
Yes, I have.
But the traffic's terrible this evening. They might take ages to get here.
Well, in that case, there's only one thing we can do. We'll have to break down the front door.
You can't do that!
We haven't got any choice. Come on, Jordan. 1, 2, 3...